Hello and welcome. I'm Max. I'm a technical onboarding engineer here at Staffbase. Today in our video we will show you how to create and invite new employees into your app. This video contains prerequisites for user sync, onboarding via CSV import, including conditional user groups, onboarding via email and password, onboarding via username and password, as well as user offboarding. Before we can start with our CSV import, we need to prepare our app. For our example, we take two personas, one desktop worker and one employee from the warehouse. We create them in the app and add them to conditional groups. User data is required so that the users from the CSV file can be recognized by the app. Go to the user management of your app and click on Registered Users. Here you can see that some of the users have a username and some have an email address. Warehouse employees are imported by username and password because most of the time they don't have any company email. Desktop workers, on the other hand, are imported with email. If we want to add new users and registered users to a conditional group using the CSV import, we also need to set their external IDs. For already registered users who do not have an external ID yet, we have to enter it first. In the next step, you should think about your users and the content which the users should see. You can define tags or attributes in order to add members to conditional groups. In our example, we will create two conditional groups based on the location, one for Berlin and one for Chemnitz. Then we add users to those conditional groups. You can create conditional groups based on specific tags. You can activate those tags in the profile field settings. To create a profile field, you can navigate in the settings of the Experience Studio and click on the menu item Profile Fields. System fields do not support group tagging. For that reason, we need to create a custom profile field that supports group tagging. Under Custom Fields, hover over the profile field that you want to edit. In our case, there is no custom field displayed yet. Go to Add Field to create a new one. Then enter a name. We will call this custom field Location. Under Options, activate Enable Group Tagging. At the same time, disable the user editing. Then click OK. At the top of the page, click Save. This profile field is now available for conditional group tagging. With the user import, it is possible to create and invite multiple users. In our example, we do this with the help of a CSV file. In order to be recognized in the app, all users need a unique external ID. This could be, for example, the personnel number. As part of the CSV file, username or email addresses are required. Other possible user data is location, department or recovery code. In our example, we create a CSV file with the following attributes: external ID, username, email address, first name, last name, as well as the location. Every single entry is also explained in detail on our support portal. The next step is to add the users to the CSV file. After all users are created in the CSV file, we can use this file for our user import. To create the CSV file that suits your needs, please refer to our support portal under CSV examples. Let's return to the app in the user management. For the user import, click on User Import and Sync. We can now start with our user import. In the first step, you can upload your CSV file to the app by clicking Select File. Under the Advanced Options, you can change the text encoding and the character under which the line entries are separated. Then click Continue. In the second step, you can map the columns of your CSV file to the desired profile fields. Important, during the CSV import, the system automatically generates one-time passwords, access codes and recovery codes as long as they are not imported with the CSV file or have been manually entered. If you don't want to create the recovery codes manually, you can have them automatically generated by the app by checking this box. If everything is okay, click Continue. After the second step, you reach the preview of your import changes. There are 4 different columns that provide you with information about the current CSV import. Your app will recognize from your previous CSV imports whether you will create new users, change users, deactivate users, or delete pending invitations. If there are new users with email, you have the option to invite them directly via email or create them in the app without email invitation. Now click on Perform Import. Confirm the user import by clicking Perform Import. The import was successful. Here you can see a summary of the changes that were made. click on To Overview to get an overview of the last import you have made. At a glance, you can see how many users have been added, deactivated, changed, or how many invitations have been deleted with the last CSV import. Under Pending Users, you can now see your created users, and you can also choose to edit them manually. Users who are created via a CSV import in the app only have user rights. These can be edited manually to change their rights and roles in the app. We will explain more about user rights and roles in a later video. Let us now move on to user groups. In the Experience Studio, navigate to Users and then click User Groups. Click on Create Group. For our example, we will call the group Berlin. Select the internal group type from the drop-down menu. Under Membership, select Automated based on tags from the drop-down menu. It is not possible to change the group membership method after saving. Click on Create. You have now created an internal conditional user group. You can edit the group settings and add one or multiple group administrators. Under Membership, you can now see the tag that we have created in the first step. Select the group tag Berlin. Now, all users with the group tag are automatically added to the conditional group Berlin. More information about user groups can be found in another video. As administrator, you have now imported your users in the app. However, they are not yet registered. Users that have email access will receive an automatic invitation via email. In this invitation, the user has an overview of their sign-up information and can log in directly into the app. The next step is to confirm your profile and enter a new password. After you have filled in the new password, click Confirm Login. You are now logged in into the app and displayed as a registered user. If the users don't have email access, the users need a username. Using the username and the one-time password, the users can now log in into the app. You could provide the login credentials, for example, with a payslip. After the username and one-time password have been delivered to the user, he can log in the login mask. To do so, the user enters their login credentials. Afterwards, the user will be asked to complete their profile and to set a new password. Then click Complete Registration. After the registration is completed, you will be taken to the start page of the app. When users have been assigned to a conditional group, they will now see the content visible for those groups. After your users have logged in, they are displayed as an active user under Registered Users. Here, as an administrator, you have the possibility to define access roles and rights via the Edit field. You can also sort your users using filters. Here, for example, the filter user roles can be very helpful because it shows you how many administrators or system-wide editors have been registered in the app. The so-called user offboarding can also be achieved with the CSV import. All you have to do is remove those users from the CSV file that you want to deactivate in the app. With the new import, they will then be automatically moved to deactivated users. Here you have the possibility to reactivate the users or remove them permanently. This function can be helpful, for example, for employees on parental leave that should not have access to the app for a certain period of time. After their return, the account can be reactivated. You can find more information on the topic of onboarding in our support portal. And feel free to reach out to us in case you have any questions.